Soft evenings reveal what daylight hides, the pull between what you desire and what your body still rehearses from yesterday. What if that tension is not proof you are broken, but proof your nervous system is asking to learn a kinder rhythm? What if your subconscious, the quiet conductor of most daily choices, could be taught a new baseline of safety, so your energy stops bracing for harm and begins welcoming what is loving, steady, and true? When intention says go, but the body whispers protect, you send mixed signals. The result is effort without arrival, hope without rest. Let this be a threshold to retrain how you feel the future, here and now, so love, healing, and peace stop visiting like guests and start living like family within you. This path is not about forcing outcomes or curating a polished persona. It is about re-educating attention, softening old stories, and teaching the body to embody today the emotions once saved for someday. Following Joe Dispenza's insight, the future opens when the body learns its emotion now. Gratitude before evidence, calm before certainty. With each breath, practice a coherent state, shoulders soft, boundaries clear, and a field that no longer leaks energy to fear. If this meets you at the right time, subscribe and comment one word you want to feel. Let that word be your compass. Let your breath be road. Peace is not something you chase, but the tone you tune to, and everything worthy of you arrives to meet it. There are seasons in life when every desire feels delayed, as though the universe is playing a quiet game of resistance. Yet beneath that delay lives a deeper lesson. The subconscious has not yet been taught how to stop repeating the past. The mind may dream of abundance, of safe love, of serenity, but the subconscious continues to hum the old tune of fear, distrust, and urgency. To manifest is not to argue with the subconscious. It is to gently and persistently re-educate it until the old song fades and a new symphony takes its place. This is the heart of quantum manifestation, harmonizing what you think you want with the emotional signals your body already believes to be true. The subconscious is a loyal servant, but its loyalty is to repetition, not aspiration. It records experiences, attaches them to emotions, and then replays them with remarkable precision. When you tell yourself, "I want peace," yet your body still vibrates with tension, the subconscious translates the tension as the instruction, not the words. This explains why positive thinking alone often collapses under the weight of stress. The subconscious cannot be persuaded by words. It must be retrained by experiences powerful enough to replace its old codes. In this sense, manifestation is a neurological reprogramming, an emotional resculpting, and a spiritual realignment that work together. Imagine a river that has carved its bed over centuries. Your subconscious mind is that river, with grooves and channels etched by habit. If you pour new water into the same path, it flows where it always has. Reprogramming is like redirecting the river, slow, deliberate, and patient, until the water finally discovers a new bed to follow. The grooves of fear, scarcity, and self-doubt can be redirected toward channels of trust, abundance, and love, but only when you create consistent states that your subconscious can adopt as its new truth. This requires a deep commitment not just to intention, but to embodiment. Embodiment is the bridge between the conscious desire and the subconscious belief. To embody means to let the future emotion inhabit your present body. Gratitude must be felt before the gift appears. Calm must be rehearsed before the challenge arises. Love must be experienced in solitude before another person can meet you there. The subconscious does not care whether an emotion arises from an external event or an inner rehearsal. It simply absorbs and records the feeling as truth. This is why visualization, when paired with genuine emotional activation, becomes such a powerful tool. The picture alone is not enough. It is the felt sense, the flutter in the heart, the ease in the breath, that instructs the subconscious to accept the new reality. Still, one of the most misunderstood aspects of manifestation is the role of energy protection. You may ask for love and peace, but if your field is porous, every stray influence and every unresolved wound will leak into your intentions, corrupting them with noise. Shielding your energy is not about building walls of defense. It is about cultivating clarity so strong that outside vibrations cannot override your chosen frequency. Boundaries, both emotional and energetic, become the structure within which manifestation can thrive. Without boundaries, your subconscious absorbs conflicting messages and confusion reigns. With boundaries, Your energy learns to remain loyal to the state you have chosen. The act of shielding is not mystical in essence. It is practical. It begins with awareness of where you leak. Do you lose yourself in other people's dramas? Do you absorb fear from news or digital chaos? Do you replay old conversations, giving them power long after they ended? Each of these is a leak. Closing them is an act of self-respect and energetic hygiene. When your subconscious sees that you honor your energy by choosing carefully what you expose yourself to, it begins to adopt that loyalty as its own. In time, your subconscious learns not only to attract love and peace, but to sustain them because it no longer tolerates vibrations that contradict them. To reach this place requires patience. With the paradox, manifestation works quickly when you stop rushing it. The more desperately you try to force an outcome, the more the subconscious records desperation as your dominant state. It then interprets every moment through the lens of lack, not fulfillment. Slowing down, allowing the body to experience safety in the present moment, paradoxically accelerates the arrival of the future you seek. You are not convincing the universe to give you something. You are teaching your subconscious to stop resisting what is already available. Neuroscience confirms that new patterns become permanent through repetition and emotional intensity. Each time you rehearse gratitude, peace, or love with genuine presence, you lay down new neural wiring. Each time you allow your body to taste the future emotion in the present, you reinforce the circuitry. Over weeks and months, these circuits become the new default, and your subconscious begins to expect peace, love, and healing as normal. When expectation changes, attraction follows. Because your outer reality reflects the inner state you consistently maintain. The spiritual layer adds its own mystery to this process. The universe, or the field of infinite potential, does not respond to words but to resonance. When you vibrate with love, the field recognizes it and echoes it back. When you vibrate with fear, the echo is fear. This is why shielding your energy and reprogramming your subconscious are inseparable. One sustains the other. The subconscious sets the frequency and the energy field amplifies it. Together, they create the conditions for manifestation to unfold. Think of this chapter as a map, not a command. It points toward a practice of reprogramming through embodiment, shielding through clarity, and manifesting through resonance. It invites you to recognize the subconscious not as an enemy but as an ally that needs training. It encourages you to see love, peace, and healing not as distant goals, but as frequencies already accessible when you allow your body to host them. Above all, it offers you the truth that manifestation is less about demanding outcomes and more about becoming the kind of being who naturally attracts them. When you walk this path consistently, a transformation begins that is both subtle and undeniable. The old reflexes of fear loosen their grip. The constant leaks of energy begin to close. The nervous system learns to relax into the safety of new patterns. In time, you notice that life itself seems to reorganize around your state. Relationships grow softer, opportunities flow with less friction, and even challenges arrive with a sense of guidance rather than hostility. This is the lived proof of manifestation, not magic, but alignment, not escape, but embodiment. And it begins every day you choose to teach your subconscious a new way of being. When people speak of energy, they often imagine something abstract, elusive, or too mystical to be approached practically. Yet the truth is that energy is the fabric of your daily experience, woven from thoughts, emotions, memories, and even the environments you inhabit. Your subconscious is both the recorder and the transmitter of this energy. Every unprocessed wound becomes a signal of vulnerability, every repeated memory becomes a blueprint, and every chosen thought becomes a seed. If the subconscious has been conditioned by years of fear, doubt, or scarcity, it will continue to send signals that reinforce those patterns, even when your conscious mind asks for love, healing, or peace. This is why shielding your energy is not a luxury, but a necessity. Without the shield, you are like a vessel with cracks, leaking life force even as you try to fill yourself with new intentions. The first element of shielding is awareness of leakage. Consider the countless micro moments of your day when you feel your vitality drain. The conversation that leaves you unsettled long after it ends, the news headline that triggers dread, the comparison to someone else's highlight reel on a glowing screen. Each of these moments represents a small tear in the energetic field you are attempting to maintain. Over time, those tears expand until the subconscious assumes depletion as the norm. To reverse this, you must begin noticing these leaks not to judge yourself, but to understand where your subconscious is most vulnerable to intrusion. Awareness is the needle. Consistent practices are the thread. Shielding is not about living in avoidance, cutting yourself off from life or suppressing what is difficult. Rather, shielding is about clarity. It is about knowing what belongs to you and what does not, what nourishes your state and what destabilizes it. Boundaries are the architecture of this clarity. Boundaries teach your subconscious to prioritize your chosen frequency above external noise. Every time you say no to a draining demand or consciously choose not to enter a situation that erodes your peace, you are programming your subconscious with loyalty to love, healing, and peace. The subconscious does not learn through lectures, it learns through the evidence of consistent choices. When you decide to treat shielding as a discipline, the subconscious begins to follow suit. It records your refusal to participate in chaos as proof that peace is safer than fear. It takes your commitment to limit overstimulation as evidence that calm is more natural than anxiety. Over time, this creates a feedback loop where the subconscious expects safety, and because it expects safety, it attracts circumstances that confirm it. This is why people who begin a consistent practice of shielding often find that difficult relationships shift, draining opportunities fall away, and new experiences aligned with love and clarity emerge almost effortlessly. The outer rearrangement is simply a mirror of the inner alignment. One of the most transformative practices of shielding lies in the body itself. Your nervous system is the bridge between subconscious patterns and conscious intention. When your body is in a constant state of tension, your subconscious assumes danger. This assumption colors every thought and perception, sabotaging manifestation at its root. By introducing daily rituals that restore safety, slow breathing, gentle stretches, or mindful walks, you send a new signal. The world is safe enough for me to relax. This embodied message eventually becomes the subconscious truth. From there, shielding stops being an effortful task and starts being an automatic state of being. It is important to recognize that shielding your energy is not a final step. It is an ongoing rhythm. Just as you brush your teeth each morning, shielding requires daily attention. The subconscious thrives on repetition, and each day you affirm your boundaries, breathe into coherence, and choose clarity over chaos. You reinforce a state that becomes increasingly unshakable. You are no longer training for peace, you are living from it. And when peace becomes your default, love and healing no longer need to be chased. They arrive because they are compatible with who you have become. Shielding also demands honesty about where you are still leaking. Perhaps you keep returning to environments that stir anxiety, or you allow the voices of others to determine your sense of worth. These are signals that the subconscious has not yet been convinced of its new direction. But rather than scolding yourself, you can use these leaks as feedback, opportunities to reaffirm the shield. Every return to clarity strengthens the new program. Every time you recover from a slip with gentleness, you teach the subconscious that peace is resilient, not fragile. Ultimately, shielding is not a practice of separation, but of integration. You are not building walls to keep life out. You are building coherence so that life can meet you where you truly are. When the subconscious has been reprogrammed to expect peace, it no longer seeks chaos. When it has been trained to embody love, it no longer tolerates relationships that contradict it. When it has learned to honor healing, it no longer identifies with wounds as permanent. Shielding, then, is less about protection from the world and more about alignment with the frequency you choose to live in. The quantum field responds to resonance. If your subconscious resonates with depletion, the field returns depletion. If it resonates with love, the field echoes it with opportunities, encounters, and synchronicities that match. Shielding your energy ensures that your resonance remains consistent long enough for manifestation to crystallize into form. Without shielding, even strong intentions dissolve under the weight of conflicting signals. With shielding, even quiet intentions gather power until they reshape your reality. This is why shielding is not optional. It is foundational to the entire process of manifestation. To walk into the world with a shielded energy field is to walk with sovereignty. It is to know that love is not something you beg for, but something you emit. It is to understand that healing is not dependent on others' approval, but on the integrity of your own alignment. And it is to trust that peace, once established within, becomes unshakable by circumstance. This chapter is not the end of the work, but the beginning of a lifelong practice. As your subconscious absorbs these new truths, the universe itself adjusts to mirror them back to you. Shielding is the ground upon which manifestation takes root. And with roots that deep, what you grow will not only last, it will flourish. Every belief you carry is like a thread, invisible but strong, woven into the subconscious fabric of your life. Some threads are golden, carrying memories of love, safety, and expansion. Others are heavy, carrying echoes of rejection, scarcity, or unresolved pain. Over years, these threads form the tapestry your subconscious consults each day. When you attempt to manifest something new, prosperity, harmony, deep connection, the subconscious scans the tapestry, searching for proof that such a reality is safe. If the tapestry holds more threads of fear than of trust, the subconscious does not permit the new pattern to stabilize. It is not cruelty. It is loyalty to what it has known. This is why reprogramming the subconscious is central to manifestation. Without it, you may set intentions, speak affirmations, or visualize grand futures, but the fabric of your inner world continues to reproduce what is familiar, not what is desired. The subconscious is not only a recorder of the past, but also a gatekeeper of the present. It governs the silent majority of your choices, from the tone of your voice to the way you interpret someone's glance. When its programs are shaped by fear, it interprets even kindness with suspicion. When shaped by scarcity, it dismisses opportunities as unattainable. To reprogram the subconscious is to interrupt these reflexes and insert new codes until they become as automatic as the old ones once were. It is a slow apprenticeship, but its fruits are profound. The moment the subconscious accepts a new truth, your entire life begins to shift in ways that seem miraculous, though they are simply the visible expressions of new inner architecture. This process requires honesty about the patterns you have carried. Perhaps you grew up absorbing the belief that success demands constant struggle, or that intimacy always leads to betrayal. These beliefs may never have been spoken directly, but they were encoded through observation, repetition, and emotional imprint. Once installed, they became operating instructions, quietly guiding your reactions. The first step of reprogramming is not denial of these instructions, but recognition. You cannot overwrite what you refuse to see. By naming the old belief, you weaken its hold because the subconscious thrives in shadow. Exposure to light begins the transformation. Neuroscience supports what spiritual teachers have long known. Repetition and emotional intensity are the levers of reprogramming. Each time you feel a new state deeply, while focusing on the belief you wish to install, you are carving new grooves in the neural pathways of the brain. Gratitude practiced daily, peace embodied even briefly, compassion extended deliberately. These emotions saturate the subconscious with fresh instructions. Over time, the new pathways become stronger than the old, and the subconscious begins to default to them. This is why fleeting inspiration is not enough. Only consistent rehearsal, infused with emotion, convinces the subconscious to adopt the new code. Reprogramming also demands the integration of the body. The subconscious communicates through sensation as much as thought. Tightness in the chest, heat in the face, or tension in the gut often reveal the subconscious program more clearly than words do. By working with the body, through breath, movement, or mindful attention, you can intercept the old reaction before it completes its cycle. For example, when scarcity is triggered, you may feel a knot in the stomach. Instead of pushing through with affirmations alone, you pause, breathe into the area, and consciously soften it while imagining abundance as already present. This somatic dialogue convinces the subconscious in a way that intellectual effort cannot. At the heart of this reprogramming lies the principle of emotional rehearsal. Just as athletes practice their routines until the body performs them instinctively, you can practice emotions until the subconscious performs them naturally. Imagine rehearsing peace so consistently that when chaos arises, your first response is calm rather than panic. Or practicing love so deeply that, when confronted with rejection, your reflex is to remember your worth rather than collapse. These rehearsals, repeated over weeks and months, gradually alter the very identity your subconscious holds for you. You are no longer someone waiting to become peaceful, healed, or loved. You are someone who is already those things, and life arranges itself accordingly. Of course, resistance will arise. The subconscious clings to the familiar because it equates familiarity with safety. When you attempt to install new beliefs, you may hear an inner voice dismissing the practice as unrealistic or futile. This is not proof of failure, it is evidence of transition. The old program is protesting its replacement. If you persist, the resistance eventually weakens and the new program takes root. Compassion is essential here. Reprogramming is not a war against yourself, but a patient teaching of yourself. Harshness only reinforces the old pattern of unworthiness. Gentleness, on the other hand, creates the environment in which the subconscious feels safe enough to change. The result of sustained reprogramming is a subconscious that no longer sabotages your desires, but supports them. Imagine waking each day with a default sense of calm rather than dread, or moving through relationships expecting respect rather than rejection. These are not luxuries. They are the natural consequences of a subconscious aligned with love, healing, and peace. And once your subconscious has been trained to expect these states, manifestation accelerates. Opportunities that once seemed scarce appear abundant. Encounters that once felt threatening become invitations. Even challenges transform into stepping stones because your subconscious interprets them through the lens of resilience. The quantum field responds to this shift with precision. As your subconscious emits the vibration of safety and trust, the field mirrors it back in external forms. What once required force now flows. What once seemed random now feels guided. This is not superstition, it is resonance. The field can only echo what you broadcast, and your subconscious is the broadcaster. Reprogram it with love, and love becomes the dominant frequency of your life. Reprogram it with healing, and circumstances align to support recovery. Reprogram it with peace, and even in turbulence, you remain steady. To reprogram your subconscious is to claim authorship of your reality. It is to stop outsourcing your fate to chance and to start participating in the design of your life. This does not mean control over every detail, but it does mean influence over the tone, the quality, and the direction. When your subconscious aligns with your conscious desires, manifestation ceases to be a struggle and becomes a natural unfolding. The tapestry once woven with fear is rewoven with trust, and every thread contributes to a life that reflects who you truly are. There comes a moment in the journey of transformation when the practices of intention, visualization, and repetition must be anchored into the rhythm of daily life. Without this integration, even the most inspired spiritual experiences remain isolated flashes rather than enduring states. It is not enough to touch peace for 20 minutes in meditation and then collapse back into fear for the remaining hours of the day. The subconscious does not measure your progress by peak moments, it measures by averages. What you embody consistently is what it adopts as reality. Therefore, the work of this chapter is the weaving of love, healing, and peace into ordinary routines, so that the extraordinary becomes normal, and manifestation ceases to be an event and becomes a way of being. One of the great illusions that block manifestation is the belief that spirituality lives apart from the ordinary. People imagine that they must retreat from the world, light candles or repeat mantras for long stretches in order to connect with the universe. While these practices can open portals, they are not sufficient to sustain the field of manifestation. The subconscious requires evidence not just in sacred spaces, but in mundane settings. The workplace, the kitchen, the moments of waiting in line. If you wish to reprogram your subconscious fully, you must allow love, healing, and peace to thread through these places as well. Only then will the subconscious recognize these qualities as the fabric of daily existence, not as rare exceptions. This integration begins with the principle of distributed coherence. Rather than relying on one extended practice each day, it is more powerful to sprinkle small doses of coherence throughout your schedule. 3 minutes of calm presence in the morning, 90 seconds of deep breathing before a meeting, a brief pause for gratitude before eating, and a reflective check-in at night. These micro-practices saturate the subconscious with repetition. They communicate that peace and love are not confined to rituals, but are available in every moment. Over time, the subconscious stops compartmentalizing and begins to perceive peace as its default setting. Silence plays an essential role in this integration. In modern life, Silence is often treated as emptiness or wasted time, but spiritually it is the amplifier of intention. Just as seeds require soil to grow, your intentions require silence to take root. By creating intentional moments of quiet, you allow the subconscious to rest from the noise of external stimulation and absorb the frequency you are cultivating. Even 2 minutes of silence between tasks can have profound effects, teaching the subconscious that peace is both accessible and nourishing. Silence need not be dramatic. It can be the soft closing of the eyes, the steady awareness of breath, the listening to a sound that fades. In this way, silence becomes not absence but presence at its most concentrated form. Another dimension of integration lies in action, inspired by your chosen states. The subconscious does not fully accept a new program until it sees it demonstrated in behavior. If you rehearse love internally but continue to act with defensiveness, the subconscious receives mixed signals and defaults to the old program. By contrast, when you perform small acts of love, sending a message of appreciation, offering patience in conversation, or showing kindness to yourself, the subconscious records alignment between thought, feeling, and action. The same principle applies to healing and peace. Choosing to rest instead of pushing through exhaustion, or choosing to respond with calm rather than agitation, reinforces the new identity you are creating. These actions are the proof that convinces the subconscious to trust the new program. This alignment between inner rehearsal and outer expression builds momentum. Each consistent act strengthens the subconscious belief, and each strengthened belief makes the act more natural. Eventually, the cycle becomes self-reinforcing. The subconscious expects love and peace, so you act from love and peace, which in turn confirms the expectation. This is the stage at which manifestation begins to accelerate, because your vibration no longer wavers. The quantum field responds with greater clarity, echoing your consistent resonance with matching experiences. Relationships deepen, opportunities expand, and challenges arrive with solutions embedded, not because fate has changed, but because you have. It is also necessary to release the myth of perfection. Integration does not mean you will never feel fear, anger, or sadness again. These emotions will arise because they are part of being human. The difference lies in your response. With a reprogrammed subconscious, these states do not dominate. They pass more quickly, leaving the underlying foundation of peace intact. Just as a musician who practices daily can recover from mistakes without losing the rhythm of the song, you can recover from emotional turbulence without losing the rhythm of your manifestation. The subconscious learns not from flawless performance, but from consistent recovery. Each time you return to your chosen state, you prove its strength. In time, love, healing, and peace become so woven into your being that they are no longer aspirations but assumptions. You assume love in your interactions, and others respond with warmth. You assume healing in your body, and it gradually restores itself. You assume peace in your environment, and you discover serenity even in noise. This is not fantasy. It is the inevitable result of a subconscious trained through repetition, silence, and aligned action. The extraordinary becomes ordinary, and manifestation becomes the natural expression of who you are. This chapter invites you to view manifestation not as a distant goal, but as a lived rhythm. To reprogram the subconscious is not merely to think differently, but to live differently in every small moment. Each breath, each pause, each choice becomes an opportunity to reinforce the new identity. Over time, the tapestry of your subconscious transforms, replacing old threads of fear with new threads of trust, until the entire fabric radiates love, healing, and peace. And when that fabric becomes your constant state, the universe has no choice but to mirror it back in every form. Every journey of transformation begins with a single shift in awareness, but it only becomes permanent when that awareness is embodied day after day. Throughout this path, we have explored the essence of manifestation, not as a distant dream, but as a present reality shaped by the subconscious mind, the nervous system, and the frequency you choose to inhabit. We have seen that love, healing, and peace are not luxuries to be begged for. They are natural states available when the subconscious is retrained to expect them. By shielding your energy, by rehearsing emotions before evidence, by embedding silence and coherence into the rhythm of daily life, you have the power to become the kind of being who naturally attracts harmony rather than chaos. The subconscious is no longer a hidden saboteur when you treat it as a student rather than an enemy. With patience, repetition, and compassion, it learns to release fear and embody trust. Each breath, each pause, and each intentional act strengthens the new program, weaving a tapestry of inner certainty that the universe cannot help but reflect. When love becomes your inner language, it becomes your outer experience. When healing is your default, even pain transforms into guidance. When peace is your foundation, no storm can uproot you. This is not theory, it is lived truth. Those who commit to the rhythm of reprogramming witness the subtle yet undeniable rearrangement of their lives. Relationships shift, opportunities expand, and clarity replaces confusion. Manifestation is not manipulation of reality, it is alignment with it. The deeper you align with the field of coherence, the more reality organizes itself around your chosen vibration. As you close this journey, remember that the work does not end here. It is not a single practice or a single insight that changes your life, but the devotion to live from the states you wish to attract. Love, healing, and peace are not waiting for you in the future. They are waiting for you now, in every breath, in every choice, in every moment you decide to embody them. What future are you ready to embody right now? Not tomorrow, not someday, but in this moment. Your subconscious is listening, your energy is broadcasting, and the universe is responding. If you found this message meaningful, subscribe to the channel so that this work continues to expand in your life. And don't stop here. Continue your journey by watching the next video waiting for you on the screen. Every step you take toward alignment deepens your connection with love, healing, and peace. The path is open, and it is yours to walk.